Let's get clerical, clerical. Let's get clerical. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Good Minecraft morning, everyone. Welcome back to a Slice of Heaven with me, Challenge Elf. Today I am going to be looking at doing the next building in my village, which is really making lots and lots of progress right now. L is for library. F is for Fletcher. C is for cartographer. P is for a pond, and that's the church. So I've pretty much decided where everything's going, at least roundabouts. So I was also having a look at what each of the various trades will be for each of these guys. So for flint, they will want things like feathers and flint from the mine, which is right there. Cartographer will want lots of paper and for some reason glass. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but also needs compasses. The church is definitely going to be up there because that is the highest point, and I've decided to give the church a pond, which is going to be here, which will have sugarcane growing around it for the cartographer, and that pond is going to be the source of this stream here, which I will have run underneath a bridge about here. But by the way, all of this is marked just above my head. Over here the library needs leather for books, and it will also need paper for books. Now there is a little bit of a cave, and it has been blown up a few times with creepers, but I thought maybe I could turn it into a pond. In the library I might have a courtyard which will have this pond in it, and it will just be a standalone pond. It won't be connected to anything else, and it will be like a serene area, and it will be lovely, and it will just be like a nice place to go and read. So yeah, that is all pretty much decided. I'm going to do the church next and make my way down, because I have a feeling this spacing is not going to be enough, but let's just see how that goes. I'm going to get off this really tall tower now. Alright, before I dive too far into this build, let me show you what I've been doing. I'm building a church! Yay! Church times. Kind of got a bit carried away, but I knew that was the only thing that I knew what to build and the shape to build it in and where I wanted it to go. So what I've got is the basic layout. I'm very pleased with the size. It's not too big, it's not too small. I've used a lot of oak steps and a lot of oak slabs that I have, and it is in the shape of a cross. I have already started on the roof line. It was one block lower, but I decided it would look a bit nicer if it was a bit higher up. I'm going to start with the outside roof. Oh, don't fall off. Start with the outside roof and then do the tower, and I think I want the tower to be here up the middle. I definitely want it to be able to overlook the village, because I can use it as a lookout tower when I trigger a raid, which I will inevitably do at some point. Not until everything's built, of course, and secure and there's a nice safe wall. The clerics are going to have their workstations in here. They will have their brewing stands in here, but they will be living elsewhere. Vicars don't sleep in churches. So what I might end up doing is have a small building out the back for them to sleep in, which would be like a vicarage or a clergy house. I was about to say outhouse, it's definitely not that. I might even make something to go underneath, but then you tend to get crypts under there, so that might be a little bit creepy. I'm gonna crack on with this roof, I think. I'll check in now and again to show you how it's going, but otherwise it's not going to take me long to do this. It just feels a bit tall. I haven't even put the top on yet. I want to put a bell tower in, but it just feels too tall. Have I done it too high up? Okay, from a bit further away, you definitely can't miss it. Obviously when I've built the other houses across the back here, it will blend in better and not just be a great big thing stuck up on the hill. But is it still too tall? I can't help thinking it needs to be a block lower, and that's really bugging me. I'll see what it looks like with the tower on top. I've got to move them out of the village so more cats can spawn. How am I going to make them sit? guys, what's up? Well, I can tell you what's up. This church tower's up. So I'm going to start by bringing you guys all the way down here. This is what it looks like from the perspective of the stone cutters. It's not bad. It kind of feels a little bit tall. I'll show you from another perspective in a moment. But I wanted to show you this. Now this is the one edge of the village that I can say is definitely an edge and is more or less complete. I have planted lots of trees, I put in fence posts, I've put in some berry bushes as deterrents and as a blockade, as you can see, and I have completed right the way up here. So it's stony, it's cobbly, it's grassy, it's just such a nice, it's actually just quite a nice section, and it is all well lit with these nice lanterns which I've sort of turned into lampposts going up here. I am going to do this all the way around the village, so this is going to be like the border right around the village. Nothing can get through. The only place anything can get through right now is right up here, where the fence sort of goes around the back and then it stops right here. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest, and it looks really nice. I think it looks really nice, so that's definitely going to be what I do right around the village, but for the moment I need to finish right around the village, and this is the church. So let's head on in. Oh, I've also done this path here. Remember I was saying about putting a pond in? Well, this is the pond. It may change shape again. I have already planted sugarcane around it. There's some string just to stop the sugarcane, some of the sugarcane, from growing all the way up. So we get different levels, which is quite cool. And then this breaks off and it trickles down here, and I've got stone steps which go evenly all the way up and go over the stream, so it just carves its way underneath, and this joins up to where it originally was down here, and I've stuck some more sugarcane up the sides here to sort of link it all in together, and it then flows down off into the river and into that pond there, which it's looking quite good. Right, so this is a better view to see the pond from. So we've got the pond here, which I was originally going to have sort of attached to the church, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to have it attached here. This is where the cartographers are going to go, and I've decided to give them a 2-story house. So downstairs would be either the bedroom or their workspace, and then upstairs would be their workspace or the bedroom, which would then lead out onto here, and the pond will be theirs where the sugarcane is, so that all ties in quite nicely. But that is going to be the next house I will build. In fact, I'm probably going to end up building that before I finish the church. Now the church, so it comes up here in through the doors, and we have the pews, nice high ceiling, the lamps are all in, so it's all nicely lit. Now, you've probably already noticed these 2 weird panels here. One of them goes up to nothing. The other one goes up here to a trap door. Upsy daisy, up I go. I'm now at the roof level. I'm at the peak of the roof, which is kind of handy. Nothing can spawn up here at all. And then we've got another bit of ladder, which takes us up into the bell tower. So these are all bells which look absolutely awesome from below. This is such a good vantage point. I mean, you can see so much. So yeah, it's all quite cool up here. I will eventually get around to putting a flag up on top, I think, because that would be really cool. And I'm just not sure if it's too tall. As you can see from here, the church looks massive. But bear in mind, there is going to be another building here, another building here, and one more here, which will also be quite big. So that then should help balance the whole thing out. But having these tall trees here really, really helps bring the level down of the church. But it still feels, I don't know. I mean, if I do anything with it, it's only going to go 1 block down, just 1 block. But for the moment, I'm going to crack on with the cartographer's house. So, I have built a 2-story house thus far, stripped oak log. It's very brown. It's very, very brown. I'm going to have to It's definitely not going to be a wooden building. I think it's going to be a terracotta building. We've got the beds downstairs, and then we've got stairs, and in an unusual move, it's got stairs, but we have the workspace upstairs, which will be here. I will put a barrier there so they're not going to fall down the stairs. This will be an overhang, and obviously they can then come out here. I may even move the pond over one block. I think I'll make it easier for putting a fence up. But the top of this roof is going to be like the little window that I did on the toolsmiths, and it will be basically a giant version of that. I might then use fence posts to sort of stick up so it kind of looks like the entrance to a tent or something. That's okay. I've attempted to go with a curved roof like I did for the weaponsmiths, so it's sort of shallow at the bottom, then goes steep, and then points at the top. I feel like the whole building needs to move one space in towards the pond, so I almost need to squidge the two in together a little bit. Okay, so the centres aren't aligned, but that is definitely too close to being in line with mine, and actually as it looks, the roofs are a little similar. Like, they are different, they are definitely different, and when there is that overhang going out, that will look different. I think it needs to go up one and to the right one. I'm gonna have to rebuild the whole thing now. Oh. I moved the whole house. Instead of rearranging the floor, I decided just to make the bedroom the same level as it was, but give it a higher ceiling. And you know what? That actually looks so much better than it did. Far less claustrophobic. It has also been moved one block closer to the pond. That is actually quite a nice spot. It's not too big of a distance, it's not too small. So there is more of a difference between the two houses, which is good. I don't know if I can be bothered to move it another block sideways. And let's face it, there are going to be some buildings which are going to be closely lined up. Like these three, for example, almost quite closely lined up because they were bordered between an original path and the stream. Next update! It definitely looks a lot better with the white stained terracotta in there. I've got the roof out straight to there. I've even put the fence posts up the side so that they can't obviously get onto the roof and like escape and stuff. So from this side it looks quite nice. It's not too big, I think, but it's also not too small. Obviously very unusual that the work area is directly above where the beds are. And if I take you inside, you'll see the edge here overhangs the bottom here. Down here the walls are going to be, this is all going to be stone and then fade into ground and dirt, so that obviously the water doesn't get into. Look how organised this all looks. It's quite sort of cozy but roomy at the same time. It's really weird. Anyway, so that water from the pond, groundwater, doesn't come into here. As you can see, I've incorporated stone walls as a sort of protective against the groundwater and everything going on. Plenty of space. I haven't put the glass in. I always put that in last because of the number of times I've changed things, and it's just so annoying. So the last thing to do really is to put the fence around here, I guess. As long as there is a 2 gap wide gap, then things like mobs, especially the iron golems, can't then get up. Because if it's just one gap and there's, say, a fence there, they'll come along here. But because they can sort of straddle between two, like they're wider than one block. So if there's a fence there, they're on it. And then obviously they're then into the workspace. And I can't imagine that being very productive for our poor cartographers. Time to put this fence in around the outside and then move them in. And a quick fence and move in later and it is all done. I have terraformed right the way up here. I have included turning this into a proper stone wall as a way of preventing the water from leaking this way, of course. Now I wasn't sure if I did this a little bit messy, but actually standing back and looking at it, it's not terrible. I think it's just the different shapes and patterns of stone that I've used. As you can see, I've used cobblestone, stone and I've used mossy stone as well to really give the impression of like lots of moisture being held back by this, including lots of vines and ferns. It's definitely an interesting texture. It's not something that was originally here. Now this does tie in nicely to the path that I did down the side, and will eventually continue right the way around the village. Anywho, enough of that. Let's have a look at what's up here. So the fence has been done. That lantern there is to light the middle area to prevent any drowned from spawning. The torches are of course perfectly positioned to ensure that this is all spawn proof in here. It looks lovely. We've got some seagrass. The golems can't get in. Even here at the back they can't get in. They will just walk along this path. And then obviously we have our workers who are up here and tinkering along, and they're doing okay. I have already bought some maps from these guys. And will be going out to explore them, but I'm just so keen to finish this village. I'm just at that point where I'm so close. I'm just so close, and I really want to get it done. So that is kind of my main focus right now. Anywho, back downstairs. This hasn't changed. All I've done is put in the windows, but it's very homely. It's very good. They obviously navigate it very easily, which is great. And there's no pesky door for them to struggle to get through like some of the others. I've actually had to remove the door. Now looking at the church, I'm still kind of feeling like it's one block too high, but if I have it one block lower it would still work. I wonder if I should maybe try terraform around one edge and just see if it looks like it blends in a bit better. But in the meantime, what I can do, I will just pop in a quick little hut here for the clerics to live in. And with the power of editing, when I look next, a magical little hut will have appeared for the clerics. Ready? Done. Ta-da! Bit little hut. These guys get roses everywhere because they're kind of religious. So these guys get a really modest little hut. It's really low. The roof itself has to sort of go up around the windows and the door. See, the window actually goes out through the roof, and it's quite a modest little thing. So they've got a path that goes right into the church, and they will get their workspace up here. I moved the church down a whole block.
Oh my god.
It took me ages. It kind of looks better. And I've put lamps up around the paths a bit more, so it's all a bit more lit, and it looks nice. So one block has made a slight difference. I don't make it any shorter, and I think if I did make it shorter it would be doing something with the bell tower and bringing that down a bit. I might even have to move the library so it's not over here, but the library might have to be back here. Another 2 buildings done. It's all looking lovely and very villagey now that there is a church there. I will put in the stained glass between now and the next episode. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and bye! Hello fellas.